Sanya Richards-Ross is a US Olympic champion in track and field events. As well as winning many gold medals, she also won a bronze in the Beijing Olympics of 2008. What she later revealed, however, was that she very nearly hadn't been there, and to be there cost her dearly. Just days before the event, she'd had a pregnancy terminated. In her book, Chasing Grace, she talks about her first experience of the love of God and the wonder of His grace on the streets of Beijing. God forgave her, and she went on to marry her fiancé and have another child. In his letter to the Romans, the Apostle Paul writes, "Since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through which we have gained access by faith to this grace in which we now stand." This grace in which we now stand. You may be feeling that you don't know where you stand right now. You may be feeling like the ground underneath you is unsteady. Perhaps you're having to take one day at a time to put one foot in front of the other. Maybe you're hurting. This grace in which we now stand. You may not want to hear right now someone telling you that suffering produces character, as Paul teaches. Maybe you're just crying out for healing, for yourself or for someone you love, for things just to be okay. Sometimes there are no easy answers, no quick fixes in the broken world we live in. This grace in which we now stand. Yet imagine yourself standing in the centre of a circle. You are surrounded by God's grace. This means you are encircled by His protection. This means you are enclosed with the privilege He bestows upon you. He is a loving parent with His arms around you. You cannot escape His love. Nothing you can do can separate you from it. You can rejoice in this. You can rest in this. This grace in which we now stand. More than this, standing where we are, encircled by grace, God's love is poured out upon us, Paul tells us, while we were still sinners. While there is still sin and pain in this life, we are soaked, we are drenched, we are filled to the brim. Love is poured out on us. We are immersed like the waters of baptism, covering us to rise to forgiveness, to rise to hope, to rise to grace, to rise to salvation. This grace in which we now stand. Step into the circle of God's love. Jump into the pool of His love. Whatever you have done, whatever has been done to you, whatever you have seen done to others, this is the grace in which we now stand. Forgiveness, peace, joy. God bless you.